Hey guys, I'm starting a series of acrylic speed testing. This is going to be the first video in that series, and we're going to roll right into it. So first, you'll need 10 swatch sticks, because this is only for acrylic swatching, and we're going to act like we have 10 fingers. So we're starting off with the first one. You can apply your acrylic however you like. This acrylic is cool Cover Cool Pink by Super Nails. It was some acrylic I hadn't used. I didn't really care for it because it marbled, but the problem was I just wasn't using it correctly. And now that I understand that, um, I actually just bought some more because I can't seem to find this kind of pink. My current collection, which is my Carton Young, I even have a few Mia Secrets. They do not have this kind of pink. I've actually compared them. So I was like, now that I know how to use it, we'll just go ahead and buy it. So again, the monomer I was using is I just bought some cheap monomer for playing with. It's a Savvy Land TMA. And I added Mia Secret odor drops to it. So previously I had applied the first bead, brought it down as far as it would go, and then I applied the second bead while swiping my sides. This acrylic test bead is for 20 minutes. My application for acrylic can be anywhere from, on a full set, 15 to 30 minutes. So I went in between this. And basically what we're doing is we're acting like the nails have been prepped, dehydrated, primed, all that good stuff. This is just acrylic application. Now we're applying our first bead to our second nail, just tucking that up by the cuticle. And the reason why I chose to do the speed test this way um, is because, like I said, you can act like the tip has been applied, the shaping has been done, primer, dehydrator, all that stuff has been done. This is just strictly for the application of acrylic to bring up speed. Now, I have applied the second bead and I'm just patting that down. You will need to check your sides to see if there's any divots that need to be filled in or maintained. I've done this several times, and these swatch sticks were basically going for gel polish, um, basically gel paint swatches to show what colors I have in gel paints and gel polish paints, like the eye gel ones, because I don't really consider those paints because they're more flowy and they spread on base coat like regular polish. So that's why I'm saying gel polish paints and gel paints, because I feel like gel paints are way thicker and they do not spread on a base coat. And again, same process. This is all in real time. It was for 20 minutes. I'm just gonna let you watch. If I have anything else to add, I will add it. My brush is a 12, the Kier Sky brush. I do not know the temperature of my room. It's somewhere between 75 and 78 because we are currently in the middle of a winter storm and it is cold outside. You do not have to do your application like you see me doing it on this stick. You can actually start with the first bead in the middle where the tip is or would be, and then bring that down and apply the next bead that way. I switch up my application sometimes, so it really just depends. And the goal here is to get the acrylic applied as smoothly as possible, uh, with as few dents or divots or lumps, um, so that it requires less fouling and increases your speed and your time with your client or upon yourself. This series will have a few of these swatchings. I will do another one with short nails, and we'll change the time because shorter nails shouldn't require as much time, although short nails are more difficult because you get used to picking up bigger beads with longer nails and then you have to adjust. And making sure I tuck my sidewalls in to help keep that shape because again, the speed test for this, or trying to do the speed test so that we can get our time down with the application, but also maintain a good application so there's less fouling. Um, you will definitely need to tuck in your sides because that is one thing that will take up a lot of fouling time. And again, like I said, this is real time, so I didn't cut anything out. I wanted you to be able to see and watch the time other than the intro I added. And the goal was to get all 10 nails with their application applied as good as possible for less fouling within 20 minutes or under. So 20 minutes or under. And parts of the series will go back to fouling and prepping. Hopefully, I'll get to those things in time. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I was like, I don't think it's anything people would care to see. But at this point, I was like, well, what does it hurt? Something different than just watching design tutorials. You also need to check from the sides, like I said earlier, down from the point of this nail down to the cuticle area to make sure your apex is in the right place and there's no lumps and bumps, or you're missing a bunch of acrylic on one side versus the other, because all those things play a role in your fouling. And like I said, a part of the series, this series will be the fouling and prepping. We're starting with the application first, which I know is a little bit backwards, um, because that's the easiest part to start with. The prepping and fouling are the harder of the two, in my opinion. So we started with the easiest part, which is the application. Because even if your prep takes 30 minutes, but your application for a nail as long as the one you see me using in this video is 10 minutes for 10 fingers, you're at 40 minutes. And that's not a bad time depending on what you're doing to the set. So let's say you were doing a solid color. So if your prep was 30 minutes, your application was 10 minutes, you're at 40 minutes. Let's say you're fouling, it's about 15 minutes. So you are now at 55 minutes. So you're still under an hour and you're finished. Although 5 minutes to people is like, ugh, that's not a lot of time. But it is when people have places to be, things to do, and back-to-back appointments. So you would be at 55 minutes. So let's say they just wanted a basic solid color. Well, if you're a tech who doesn't use base coat, you're right on in there. Now all you have to do is apply the color and cure, add a top coat and cure. So you're looking at what, another 10 minutes? So an hour and 5 minutes, which could be pretty freaking good if that works for you, if you can get your time down. Because prep is something you don't want to skimp on, and neither is application. You hear a lot of people talk about if your nails are lifting and you're not having good retention, it's not your product, it's your prep. Well, that's not always true. It can be your application of your product. That's why people always talk about don't flood the cuticles, because that plays a role in it too. So let's say your prep is A1, but your application is trash. Well, guess what? Now your nails are lifting even though you have bomb prep. And I'm not saying that this is the reality. I'm just saying it's a possibility. What I found out with my clients is my application wasn't as good as I thought it was. And I was having a lot of issues with lifting. And I kept trying to figure out why. Because I had already refined my prep. So I was like, you know what? Let me check out some other videos and see what's going on. So I looked at other videos, including prep videos, just to, you know, not perfect, just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. And as I said, it wasn't an issue with my prep, it was an issue with my application. So once I figured that out, then it became, okay, what is the client doing with their hands? Are they using them as tools? Is that why we're having lifting and all kinds of other issues? If we have any other kind of issues, and my clients have regular jobs where they're using their fingers, and a lot of them are fingernail tool users, which causes a lot of lifting and breakage and things of that such. Which means when they come back to their appointment, it's not a fast appointment because now I have to remove all this lifting. I have to fix any broken nails. And a lot of people don't take into account that when you are a private tech, removing all of that stuff and fixing all of that stuff takes more time than if you didn't use your nails as tools, so that you have less lifting, less breakage. Especially like when you're using a whole bunch of water. You're washing your hands constantly. Your hands are in dishwater constantly. Well, your nail's expanding and trapped. So if you've filled your nail up with water, it has expanded. Acrylic doesn't have that much flexibility to expand with the nail. So guess what? As soon as that nail shrinks, it is pulling away from that acrylic, which then as your nail tech have to do more work because you now have separation of product. All of these things play a factor in appointments. I know people are like, I'm not sitting no 2 hours for no nails, blah, 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 blah. But the reality of it is if you are using your fingers as tools, they're in water all the time. They're in chemicals all the time. You are a part of that, why that appointment is so long. Now, granted, if they're a beginner nail tech, it's going to take a while. You have to refine your craft. You have to keep practicing. You have to keep um, finding out what works for you because, as one of my favorite nail um, influencers said, is we pick up all of these great things from everyone that we watch and we try to use them all. And that's not how it works in reality. You have to fine tune your craft to you. And it took me a very long time to figure that out. But now I'm grateful that I did because I really was trying to do everything that I've seen all these favorite professionals of mine do. Oh, well, she does this, I want to do that too. Or she does this, I want to do that too. And it just adds more time, it adds more frustration because at the end of the day, you're trying to get your time down so that your clients aren't mad at you and they aren't sitting there for forever so that you can retain clients while having good work. So you really have to refine your craft and figure out what works for you. Get a little carried away in some of these where I was out of frame. I do apologize. But anyway, um, you did not get to see the side view of these because I'm not really worried about um, that for this particular video. I just wanted to get it up and see how it does. Um, I will go into it with the next couple of videos because there'll probably be like 2 more so that because I like to cut the nails to show you if there is strength or if there is not strength in the apex area where it should be. And a lot of people get the apex area somewhat confused. And I will explain what I mean by that when we start talking about that when I cut the nails after another speed test. Because we'll do the side views, we'll look at each nail individually, all that good stuff, so you can see us as nail techs are not perfect either. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you'll join me for the rest of this series. Oh, look at that. I actually looked at the side on one of them. And I hope this helps someone. Because I've been there where I hate how my time is so high. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and will enjoy the series. And thank you for watching.